We are live. Everybody's popping in now. It's getting real. We're already into the second session. It's insane. We got the caffeine flowing over here. You know?
Yes.
Yeah, we got caffeine flowing. Got my good friend, Dr. Pepper, 23 flavors of awesomeness. So good. And as everyone's coming in, welcome to the, I don't know if you call this the second or the third session, but one of those. But yes, but I am very lucky today because I have Bonnie Joe on here today.
Yes. First webinar with Stephanie.
Yeah, this is
it's off the bucket list.
Oh, yes.
I made it.
Bucket list. Yes. Made it. It's so awesome. Yeah. So it's super cool. I'm excited to be on here with you today. It's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a good time. Everyone's hopefully had lunch now and we're all just kind of settling back.
Or could be dinner. It depends where people are joining too.
Yeah, true. Yeah. If we have any international people calling in, I see someone's from Tennessee. Love Tennessee.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Welcome. Oh, Canada, New Zealand. Wait, what time would that be?
New Zealand?
That'd be really early in the morning, I think.
What is?
Missy, you'll have to tell us.
Oh,
yeah, it's very
more
early
South
here.
Africa, Idaho, Indiana, Puerto Rico. What?
Chicago, Oregon. There's your Oregon, Bonnie.
Yes, Oregon. I love you guys.
Oh, man. 7 a.m. in the morning in New Zealand. Okay, so some of you are just got done with your lunch, some just got done with your dinner, and some are having your coffee or tea. Awesome. Love that. Made spaghetti sauce.
So many people from all over. I love it.
I know. So cool. Oh my gosh, you guys, every time we do this, I'm just like so thankful and just so blessed, you know, like how you guys are spending time with us. This is so cool. Oh, Iowa. Megan, Iowa, we're in Nebraska, so we're not that far from you. So
not that far. We have mixed feelings about Iowa, but
yeah, when it comes to the football teams,
we
might have different situations. Yeah, different feelings, but it's okay. We all love here. We all love.
Oh, Lincoln. You should just drop down by the office sometime.
Oh, yeah.
We're here.
You just see Jamie just come in. Hello. That is so Las Vegas,
Florida,
nice.
Texas. This is so fun.
All
the
Big Ten rules.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh man, so cool. Oh, just got to say again, thank you so much. We're really excited for this webinar. This one, I mean, all of these webinars are really cool, but Bonnie and I are a little biased that this webinar is really cool. About proposals and quotes. It's so
This is where
awesome.
we start to make the money. This is the beginning of everything. So
boom. That's correct. This is where the money happens. The magic happens. The money is coming in. So we are super excited to show you. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's going to be so cool. But before we get into that, though, I do have a little bit of housekeeping just to go over. We do this every time. You'll start to memorize what I'm going to say if you're joining us multiple times. But you can get training camp certified if you join 5 or more live sessions. So if you've been joining us the whole way through, you're 3 in. Or if this is your first one, you're 1 in and have plenty more chances. So just have to get in 5 times. And we'll know, that's a great thing too. So you don't have to reach out to us or anything. We'll know who you are, who have reached the certification level. And we'll reach out. Oh, Anna said 3rd one for me today. Nice.
Heck yeah.
Woo. And technically you could get them all done on Monday if you keep going, because we still have 2 more. So you could just do it. I just be like, I already know I aced it. So be perfect. And so what's really great though is we'll reach out to you in about a week or 2 and you'll get a badge. So you'll get a badge so you can put that like on your website, email signature, wherever you want to put it. And then you also will get a certificate. You know, you got to hang it on the wall and be proud, you know, type of a thing. It'll be so cool.
Print it out, frame it.
Yeah, frame it. But you know what though, Bonnie, it'd be really nice if you can add one more certificate to that, like Travefy certification.
What? We have this?
So again, if you've been joining us, you already know about this one, but it's huge. We're going to talk about it every time because it's so big. We will be releasing, it'll probably be next week. So we're going to let you know, you are going to be the first people to get notified about this, is we are going to launch an actual Travefy certification program. So it's going to be about, Jazz said, I love Bonnie. Yeah, isn't she great? We love her too. She's awesome.
This is such a feel-good session already.
I know, it's just so fun. fun. It's so fun. But no, that's the certification, super great. It'll be really fun. It's I think there's eight lessons. It's a great way to just know Travefy. It's all free. The other thing though is we're gonna have an advanced. So we have a lot of people who just try to, they just want to get even higher. So you know what? Throw you an advanced certification course. So you can do that too. So really awesome there. And
Some
then
nice
of course
logos
we do have,
too.
oh, I know. Aren't those logos sick? They're so cool.
Heck yeah. Put it on your email signature. Love.
So cool. Yes, it is so cool. But if you are, we do have one already available. So if you want to kind of see what that is looking like, if you go to certification.travefy.com, we have one for CLIA members, and then you can get elective credits towards your CLIA membership. So it's a win-win. A win-win, everyone. Super awesome. But yeah, so that's what's coming. So stay tuned. Just keep it at the back of your mind, and we will let you know when it's ready, and then you can jump right in. So get ready for that. The last thing though is that I do want to always point out a happy hour, always want to point this out. If you can join us for happy hour on Thursday. So we'll wrap everything up sadly, but it'll be fun because we'll have happy hour. It'll be Thursday at, I believe it's 4 p.m. Eastern. And we'll have travel trivia, and not just any travel trivia. It's an amazing travel trivia, but you can win top 3 prizes. We've got Amazon gift cards coming your way. Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah. Top prize is $100 gift card for Amazon. Like, I can just, so awesome. I wish I could play. No, I wish I did.
Right. Like, are we able to enter this? Like, I don't think I would win, but
I know. It's good. It's a good mix of questions too. I have to say, it's really good. So join us for that. Also, the other thing too is make sure that all of these sessions you register individually, including the travel trivia happy hour. And then that way we can get you down for, the certification stuff. We'll know if you came. But then also you'll just get information and updates like, it starts in an hour. So you just get reminded, which is great too. Another thing too is that we are recording this. So if you need to hop off at all, or there's sessions you're going to miss, they're all being recorded. And if you just go to travefytrainingcamp.com, you can watch them there afterwards. So they'll be available. I think you just need to give it maybe 20 minutes or so after it wraps up, and then you'll be able to watch it. So easy peasy stuff. So really awesome there. But okay, with all that being said, Bonnie, are you ready?
Ooh,
here we go.
Let's get started. Let's just dive right on in.
Yeah. Okay. So here's how we're going to do it. So Bonnie's going to be in the Q&A. And then so at the end, she's going to feed me some of those. So she's going to be helping me out with answering questions and, all that good stuff in there. But then what we're going to go through today is we're going to pretty much build a proposal together. And the example that I'm going to give today is for all inclusives, but keep your mind keep the wheels spinning about how you would use it if you use it for something else, because it's very versatile. So you'll get to see, the whole workflow of a proposal, all of that good stuff. Then we'll convert it and see what it looks like once the client approves it, turns into an itinerary. And I'm going to show you some little bonus tips at the end for like marketing and stuff. So it's going to be really cool.
Ooh, gonna be a good session.
I know. Oh man. Okay, here we go. Again, we might be biased, but this is going to be one amazing webinar. So here we go.
Let's go.
Oh yeah. Okay. So first of all, I am in my account. So here's where you are. You'd first start off in here. And then when you're ready to create a new proposal, what you do is you click the new trip button. Now, here's where you can choose whether it's an itinerary or if it's a proposal. So the difference is the proposal is going to allow your client to approve it, where an itinerary just looks normal. It'll have the option where your client can get the app, the PDF, all of that. But the one good thing about this is that no matter what you choose, you can actually change it. So you're not stuck with whichever one. So if you accidentally choose the wrong one, not a big deal. You can actually click the type here, and then you can switch it to proposal or itinerary there. So you can switch it. So that's a good thing. But again, that proposal, if I just click preview here, the preview right up at the top, see how it says approve? So that's going to be your difference. That's going to be the biggest difference. So that's what I'm going to choose for this is I am going to choose proposal, and we are going to build a brand new one here together. So we're going to go from top to bottom, showing you everything, how to do this. Okay. So Now, remember, this one is going to be focused on resorts. So I'm going to give my my pretend client 2 resort options. But remember, you can use this however you need to, and you'll see what I mean as I get going. You'll see how versatile and flexible it can be to fit just what you need. So the first thing though, before I get into adding, resort options, is I just want to go ahead and add the main information, like the name. So I'm going to go into my settings up here at the top. So I'm just going to click settings, and then I can give it a trip name. So I'm going to go ahead and just call this Smith Family All-Inclusive Proposal. Here's something that's really important. I am not going to give it a trip start date. And you're going to see why in just a couple minutes. But if you do know the trip start date, you can choose it. So you can obviously choose that if you want, or come in later and add it. You could too. But for now, I'm going to leave it blank. And again, you'll see why. The other option you have is you can add pricing right here. So I'm just going to drop in a price just so you can see, and you can put, is it per person, total? You can also add more things like does not include tax, or, whatever you want to put in there. But this pricing field will appear at the top of the proposal. So when you send it to them, they'll see it at the top. So you can choose to fill it out there. You can also utilize this description area if you ever want to put like a message or a note to the clients, or put in, additional pricing, breakdown pricing. You can do that in here. It's a great place to do that. But otherwise, I'm just going to leave it as this. I'm just going to leave it as is and click Save Changes. The next thing that I want to do before I start adding information in this trip is I want to change the cover photo. So to go ahead and change the cover photo, you're just going to click Change Cover Photo. And what's great though is you can choose from our free stock photo library. So we have thousands of free stock images that you can use and pull in from. And like this example, I'm just going to say Mexico Beach, and I'm just going to search for one of these free stock photos. I'm going to pull this one in right here. But if you have your own, you can always upload your own photo as well in there. But I just want to drop in a quick photo. And these are also, they're free stock photos, but they're also high quality. So they're going to look really good and clear and be just really nice on that trip for your client. And there we have it. So now we have, all of our main information. But now I want to start adding information. And before I do that, this is going to be the main tip. So this is going to be the number one tip that you see from this one webinar. So are you ready? So what I'm going to do is see these days. So see how it says day 1 right here? Well, since I left it blank, it's just going to continue to say day 1 unless I change the day title. So I'm going to do that because what I want to do is I'm going to use these days as like sections. So check this out. I'm going to put resort options, and then I'm going to come in and I'm just going to put all my resort options on this day or section, if you will. And then I'm going to add another day, and I'm going to change that. So you can click it. You can click right on where this like yellow bar is appearing, or if you click the edit button. And I'm going to put tour and excursions in this one. So I'm just going to put tour and excursions. Okay. Now I'm going to do another one. I'm going to do one more day here. I'm going to go in day 3 and click that edit button. And I'm going to put transportation. So this is where I'll be able to, put like the flight info, things like that. And then the last one I want to do is I'm going to add destination information. So I'm going to just put destination information in there. Click done. Okay. That's all I'm going to do. So this is where it's a great place for you to think, depending on what type of travel you do or specialize in, or what you're doing for a particular client, you could think, what are these sections that I want? You don't have to have as many as I have. You could have one, and maybe it's just resort options and you're just giving them 3 different options. So it's really up to you. Same thing, if it's like a European FIT and you want to put different things or cruises, again, whatever it might be, you can utilize that, how you need. But now what I want to do is I'm going to start adding things. So I'm going to start adding things into each of these sections, and it'll really start to come together, and you'll see how that's working. So the first one, it's probably the most important one, which is resorts, giving them those options. So we want to give them those resort options, and I'm going to add 2. And the first one I'm going to add is going to be added manually. So I'm going to add it manually so that you can see that process. And then I'm going to pull one from my library, and we're going to talk about the library. So it's a time-saving feature. It's super cool. So get ready for that. But the first one, as I mentioned, I'm going to add it manually so you can see, from the whole workflow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the new event button. And then I'm going to choose lodging. And then from here, I can actually look up the name. So I'm just going to type in the name of the place. So you can see when I say LeBlanc Spa Resort, you can see it populate right here. Now, these are all coming from Google. So that's how these are populating. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that. And you'll get things like the photo, the address, website, and you can edit and customize all of that. But this is just a quick way to pull that information in. And then I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm not going to put a time or anything. And then I'm just going to say add to itinerary. And now we have this item in there. So we have that event created. But if we just kept it like this, our client might not be that enticed. I mean, they're still like, oh, heck yeah, this looks like a cool place for vacation, but let's really sell it to them, because that's, as Bonnie mentioned earlier, this is where the magic is happening and the money is made. So I'm going to add more information here, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to do this. So if I click that pencil icon right there, that brings me in so that I can edit this event. So I can do things like add, the notes from, or just maybe a blurb about the hotel, or, whatever it might be. And this note section is really a great place for an opportunity to share your expertise. If there's like late night entertainment or fun activities available for the kids, whatever it might be, this is that area where you really can personalize, like, this is why I'm choosing this place for you. But what I did is I just literally, I took this from the website. So just pulled it in there. But you can do a lot of formatting in here as well. You can add links. So if you want to send them to somewhere else and view something, if you want to highlight text, bold text, make a list, whatever it might be, you can do all of that in there, which is just really cool too. Now, when it comes to adding those pricing options, you could also use this note section to break down the pricing with what we have called a table. And the table feature is, when we released it, users were just like, thank you, this is amazing. So how the table works is, if you want to break down, like, here's your room options, you can click this insert table button. And then you can choose, like, how big is this going to be? So I could say, balcony suite, maybe that is going to be 3,000, or whatever it might be. The swim up pool, we'll do swim up pool lounge, or I'm making up names here, but we'll say that is 4,000. So you can really break it down if you wanted. And again, you can highlight, you can bold that text, just make it look really cool and enticing. Yeah. I saw she said, mind blown. Yes, it's so awesome. It's really cool. And it's really great too if you are working with like groups and stuff in different families, kind of use that. But you also could add the price in here as well. If you click add time or price, you could put a price in here, like it would be like a base price that you're adding pretty much. So I'm going to add it just so that you can see what it looks like both ways. And then you can see when I click done editing, see how that displays either under that price, or you can do like the table option. So you can do that thing again. So really cool. And again, you just click the insert table, choose, how big or small you want it. And when you're making it, you can also say, oh, I need to add another column, things like that. So you can use all that. And I can see the chat is going crazy on that. That's awesome.
Yes, the table function is amazing.
It is, right? It is. That's what I'm saying. It was like one of those things that seems so small, but then when you added it, it's like, that is so cool. So cool.
So many different things you can use it for. Invoicing, what you did here. Yeah.
Exactly.
Fun.
Invoicing is a big one. Yeah. And yeah, that is a really big one too. So thanks for bringing that up, Bonnie. See, that is why I have you on here, Bonnie.
Yes. I'm your little hype man back here.
I love it. I love having a hype man. It's the greatest thing. I love it. So good. And one thing I did too is I also added, I see how in that title I changed it to option 1, because my OCD was getting to me. I was like, I need to change that. So that's where you can change, like put the option 1, option 2, and you'll see that here when I add another one in there. But okay, now that we're blown away with just the text, let me blow you away even further with photos and videos, like, oh my gosh, it's visually just wow worthy, super cool stuff. Now you can add, when it comes to photos and videos, you can add up to 5 of them in each event. So you can add up to 5 in there. And if you click the multimedia section, that's where you add them. So if you click multimedia section, you can either, again, pull from our free stock photos, upload your own. So if you have your own photos, you can add them there. But you can also copy from a website, which is really cool. Oh my gosh. Wait, I have to grab the link. Check this out. I just went ahead and added the link. So I already had this ahead of time, but if you go to like a website link of, the resort, maybe the gallery page or something like that, click get images, and we scrape it and try to find images. Now, this one has a good amount, but some of them really have a ton of stuff. Like, it's crazy how many things some of them have. So you can just go ahead and add those in there and then click save changes, and bam, we have photos. That was so easy. So easy. And when it comes to videos, it's very similar, where if you go to grab like a YouTube link or a Vimeo link, just go in that multimedia section and then do just what I did with this video, except for you're going to choose the video option and then copy and paste that in. And there it added that video for me. And I really recommend doing that a lot, because especially with like resorts or destination marketing groups, they'll have videos, and it's totally fair for you to share those. They will want you to share those. So I would recommend anytime you're doing something like that, a destination or resort trying to sell it, I would grab one of their videos, and you can add that in there. And then you can also rearrange it in here. So if you want the video to appear first, you can do that as well in there. But that's it. I mean, pretty easy, huh? So really cool, really easy to do. But now I'm going to take it a little step further. You can see I created that manually, but it's pretty quick. It's fast. You can just pop things in there, what you need. But one thing though that you can do is save this. You can save this so that you don't ever have to recreate this again. And how you do that is in the library. I just saw a face like, oh my God, yes. So if you go into edit this and then click these little 3 dots right here and then click save to library, that is going to save it right over here on the right-hand side of my screen. This is your library. And so yours will be empty. If you've never added anything to your library before, there won't be anything in there. So it's all customized to you. So I can come in here and I can look. You can see I've saved it before, so I can just drag and drop it in when I need it, all that good stuff. I mean, it is so awesome, really cool. And there's a lot about the library. In fact, there's so much about the library. I think it's on in a couple, either tomorrow or the next day, we are going to have a session just literally dedicated to the library. So just saying, there's a lot to it. But I actually have one in my library that I want to pull in just to show you how this works. And it is the Secrets Vine Resort right here. So if I just search this, you can see it populated there, but I can just either drag or drop this in, or I can click that little plus icon. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a little plus icon there, and see how that just automatically comes in here. So you can have that. And then what you can do is, since this was pulled from the library, I won't necessarily have that, the pricing information. So you can just click this pencil icon there, and you can go ahead and just add that pricing in here after. So I'll just say like 4,000 and just say done editing. And then that way, that's all you do. So all you have to do is just edit like the pricing in it. So really, really easy. And the thing that I recommend with the library, especially because I'm talking about resorts in this case, which is if you do a lot of all-inclusive, this will be a big one for you, because a lot of times, if there's 3 to 5 destinations, or, 90% of the time you're sending to a lot of the same resorts, get those in your library and have them in there. And that way you don't have to keep re-adding or manually adding all the information in there. So, and on that library too, again, I won't go too in depth. I can get into it in the questions, but you can add things from to your library just as you're building a trip. But if you go to your main account page, you can also click on the library in here, and you'll be able to see everything that you've saved. But then you can also click new library item and then add it in here too. So if you just want to build up your library first with all of the resorts or items that you're likely to use, you can do that. And then that way they'll be ready when you're building a trip. So really, really cool there. Okay, so that is what I wanted to do for, oh, and you know what? I'm going to put option number 2 on here. There we go. Just keep this clean. We'll go so that they know this is option 1 and this is option 2 in there. So then the other thing that we want to do is add tours and excursions. Now, this is big. We always like to stress this if, you want to add those tours and excursions or anything that's an upsell, don't forget to add those upsells because first of all, it's really easy to add those upsells. And especially if you have them like in your library already ready to go, definitely add them because you can't sell what they don't know. You know what I mean? So that's the great thing. So in this tour excursions, I'm going to add 2 because I just want to show them some possibilities here. So the first one I'm going to add manually so that you can see the process, and then I'll pull the other one from my library. So the first one that I'm going to add is I'm going to click the new event button. And then I'm going to choose activity because that's what type of event this is. So I'm going to choose activity. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in the title, which is a 5-hour catamaran charter. And then, of course, in that notes section, I'm going to add just a quick blurb about it. I won't add too much, but you really could. You could add a lot in there. And then you could fill out these other form fields if you wanted. So if you wanted to put, who it would be booked through, things like that, you definitely could. I am going to put in some time because that's really important. So I'm going to put 10 a.m. as a time. I could put duration. We already said it's 5 hours, but you could also put it in here if you wanted. Say it's 5 hours. Again, put in the pricing. So let's just say 300. And once you do book it, you could also put like the document in here. So tip on there, which is really cool. And then of course we want to add like a photo or a video or something, because it's so easy to do. So I actually have a video. So I have a video pulled up. So I'm just going to click in the multimedia section and I'm going to click video and I'm just going to quickly drop that in. There we go. Click save changes, click done editing. Bam, all done. Super fast. So now we already have an excursion in there. And one thing too that's really cool is if you ever want to put like if they can book it on their own or like if you want to give them a link and say you can book this on your own and it just has like maybe your referral code or something in it, you can always do that. You could say book here and then you could highlight that and actually insert a link and just insert that link right in there. So like for example, I'm just going to put travefy.com just to show you. And then that's what you could do. So you could always do that too. So if you want to drop those links in there, that's a good way. And that is a hot tip as well. So another little hot tip there for you, putting that in there. But let's go ahead and add one more tour excursion in here. And I'm going to pull from my library because again, you got to see the value of it. It's just so amazing. So here's what I want is this oceanside massage. And there it is. There it is. It's so easy. And if you do need to change that currency, I saw a question about that, is just go ahead and click this. You can put, and if the currency you need is not in here, you can just leave it blank. And then I would just recommend putting the currency, just specifying it like in the trip description or something like that in there, but really easy to do. Okay, so now we've added our resorts, we've added our tours and excursions. Now we're going to move on to transportation because this is a hot question. This is a big one. Adding, like those flights and everything. But the first thing that I'll add is a private transfer. Usually, that's going to be part of this trip. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull from my library because I've already made something before. So I'm just going to click private transfer right there. And again, I just saved this. It's just a generic, one that I've saved previously. But you can always edit that, change that to fit what you need. And then if you're adding a flight, now this is a good question. This is why I want to address it now is when you add flights, you can always, if you click the flight option, you can always look it up. However, you do need to specify a date. And if you specify a date in this case, it'll mess up my sections. So instead of doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click add flight manually. So I'm just going to click add flight manually. And I'm just going to manually write this out. So I'm just going to say, flight information, because a lot of times too, you might be giving different options. Like maybe you have 3 different options. So this is where you could use that table. You could use that if you wanted. But I can also put like in the notes, I'm just going to say like round trip airfare is included. I cannot spell airfare. It's been a day already, There we go.
The afternoon. It's fine.
I know, it's already in the afternoon. You're just like, Dr. Pepper, once I finish this, I'll be like on the top of my game. So you can put, all those little notes there. And then if you want to break down, like flight or departure, we'll say like departure, arrival. So see how I'm doing this. So that's basically what you could do. You could just like break it down in there. And again, use those tables if you need to as well. But that's how you would get around that. Now, if you do have a date already, then you can just look them up like you normally would. But I also personally kind of like it this way for a quote and proposal because it keeps it cleaner. So that's kind of what the one thing that I've always recommended doing it that way for a quote and proposal. And then once it is booked, then you can put the flight and then you start getting the updates, things like that. So makes it clean. But yes, okay, so that's it on that. And Ralph said, always wondered about that. Yes, glad I could get that answered for you. And so now the last thing that I want to add is destination information. Now, this one's going to blow the minds of you who do not know this is a feature. So with destination information. Yeah, are you ready? Bonnie, you're just like waiting for it. Like people are gonna be like,
yes, let's go.
Yes. Okay. So arrival guides. That's what we're using. Our destination content. Our destination content is built into your Travefy account already. Like it's already there. And to access it, you just go over on the right-hand side here and see where my library is. But if you click city guides, so click city guides, and we have over, like 640 plus destination, just city guides, different destinations worldwide that you can look up and pull a ton of information in. So as this example, I'm going to search for Cancun. So I'm just going to type in Cancun, see how it populates there. And then what I can do is I can add this entire guide. So I can drag and drop it in, or I'm just going to click that little plus icon. And while it's pulling everything in, I also want to show you that you can choose sections. So you can pick and choose if you want just certain sections, because as you're about to see, it pulls in a lot of information. So it's going to pull in your city, like you can see here, top 10 things to do and see. So you don't have to have all this if you don't want. I mean, it's a great problem to have that you have too much things, too many items in here, but it's all customizable. And again, you can pick and choose, but if you just want to customize it, just click that pencil icon in there, and then you can remove things out, add your own, so it's all, again, up to you what you want to show. But it's really cool if you're giving, different things like the Cancun, and I could have said, this is destination information for Cancun, and maybe for another place, here's that. But what I like about this destination content, especially for a quote or a proposal, is that this gives you so much information without spending a lot of time. And something like this could easily sell your client because they're like, oh my gosh, I got to go there. That is awesome. There's so much to it. So that's why I like that a lot. I think it's just a game changer for quotes and proposals, which is just really cool. And a little pro tip as well is if you want to build your own city guide. So if you just want to create your own, you're an expert in this specific destination, you can click new event and then choose info. And then you actually have the option to create your own city guide. And then, of course, save it to your library. And then it's like your own city guide that you just have to pull from anytime you want. So really cool. I love it. It's just great. Look at all this great information. So much. It is great. And another bonus here. So I have a lot of hot tips, I'm realizing. So here's another one. So there's the information and document section, and this is on every itinerary or proposal that you create. And if you click the information and document section, you could add those city guide in here. So that's somewhere where I see a lot of people add it. But this is also really great if you need to include things like insurance. which is huge, especially over the past couple of years, we've realized the value of insurance. So you can add things like that in here and just say new information item, and then drop in, don't forget your insurance. Here's some options, things like that. All the good stuff. And in fact, I have something in my library. Let me delete this. I have something in my library already. Trip insurance. I'm just going to type in trip. Oh, wait, it's just insurance. There we go. There it is. So this is what I have. This is just kind of like a general, little blurb thing that's just like, you need to get insurance. Because again, it's another upsell, but it's also really important. This insurance, really good if the client adds that. So that's kind of how you can add all that different stuff in there. But okay, that was a lot. That was a lot of things, but we're not done yet, because now what we're going to do is we're going to see what this looks like for the client. So here's the most important part is, what is this looking like for them? So what you can do is click the preview button at the top here, and then you'll be able to see all of it. So you can see up here where it says, 5,000 per person, all that good stuff. And then you can scroll through, and here's all this information. Here's something really cool too, is I can watch this video just directly in the same screen. So that's what's really cool too, is it doesn't take them out, to see something somewhere else. Really amazing. All those photos. Here's this other one we added, another video in here, all that stuff. So it's really cool. See all this information. Here's those city guides. So again, lots of great stuff in there. But what's really great about this is you can send this to your client, just grab that link at the top and just share it. You can also get it by clicking the send button, get trip link. You can also email. So if you want to email directly from here, you could too. And it just sends them an email. And if they reply back to that email, it'll go to you. So that's a good thing. But otherwise really easy. And then once they approve it, they can click approve proposal. And then they can put in their name and email and then just click approve. And then what happens next is that they will know, they'll receive an email confirmation with the PDF of what they approved. And so do you. You receive a confirmation as well. And then what happens is when you come into your account, you'll see that it's been approved. But here's the best part about this is that you also have a PDF copy that you can always go back and refer to. So that's why the proposal workflow process is so helpful, because it really is like, okay, you approved this. I can go back and look at something if I need. You can do that. So you can click like that little paperclip thing in there. And I know that question, I can see them coming in already, is how do they approve the different options? So there's a couple things you could do with that. So one is there is this chat included on here. So there's a trip chat in that proposal. So you could chat with them and say, let me know which one you're choosing. And then you can edit and then delete it. So then if they're choosing option number 1, then you can delete option number 2 and then tell them that they can go ahead and approve it. So you could do it that way. Another option, which is one of my favorite, and I think a lot of users have been doing that, is that there also is the option where you can create a form, which unless we do it in the questions, but the next session is all about the forms. So recommend the next session to get more on that. But you can create a form in Travefy and you can put your options in there. And then that form is a link. So you could put that link then in like the description, say, fill out this form to decide options. So you could do it that way. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. But that form is a great way. I really recommend utilizing that form in there as well. So hopefully that helps that as well too. But now a couple things that I want to talk about before we get into questions, because I know there'll be lots of questions in there. So I definitely want to get to those. But a couple things, these are just extra tips. I literally just wanted to say like, oh my gosh, there's so many things we could talk about that I came up with my top 3. So one of them is copying from a template. And so let's say, for example, this all-inclusive, I do a lot of all-inclusive proposals, let's say. And usually they're always the same. They have the resort options, the tours and excursions, the destination, things like that. So what you could do, as you can see, I've made one here, is make a template for you to use. So if you can, so see how this is literally my template that I had just made, but this is created, I wrote in the title as template, because what you can do is you can always copy trips that you create. So what I could do is, instead of starting and saying new trip proposal, starting from brand new, I could actually just click copy, and this would copy a new version of this template. And then that way, when I go in here, I just already have it set up and I just start adding things. So that's a great thing. And think of it too, if you have like, like information document stuff like cancellation policy, things like that, that you send to everybody, have that in there. And then that way you just copy from it. So that's a really good option, doing that. Another thing is the library, which I know there's so many things in there at the library, which makes me so happy because the library is really cool. But some library tips in here is when you create items, you can always organize them with labels. And that can be really helpful when you're trying to find things, especially when you're doing a quote and proposal and you're just trying to say, like, what are some tours that I have in my library that are good for Cancun? So you could just search for stuff like that and just find them easier. So I recommend that. The other thing that's really cool about the library is Scott told us earlier today that, so since he said it, I'm going to share it to everybody. It was quietly released on Friday, but you can share library items. So there's actually, I know there's a lot of people asking, like, how do I get stuff in there? Well, you can, of course, create it yourself. But if you know of other colleagues or someone else has a Travefy account and you want items that they have, they can share it with you. It's so cool. And we'll go way more in depth on that. And we'll be sending an email out, I think tomorrow or the next day, about this. But there's also a Facebook sharing group. It's called Travefy User Shares. I think it's what it is. We'll figure it out. Definitely send us a note or email us at professional@travefy.com and we can help you out with that. But it's really cool. Super easy. It just allows you to share things to your library. So there's that. And then the final thing I want to talk about is also if you want to market trips. So if you put together, let's say, especially like a group trip or like a river cruise, things like that, what you can do is you can actually share that trip on like social media. And it's really easy. So I'm going to put this on the Travefy Facebook page just so you can see it. But I'm just grabbing this link. And again, how I do that is you can just go here. Let me go back in here. I can click the send button and then click get trip link. I'm just going to copy the web link. And then I actually have this already open here, but I wrote up my little post here, and then I'm just going to drop this in. And look at that. Isn't it beautiful? Look, how cool is that? So we have that in there, and then just click, I'm just going to post it. So that way you can go check it out. If you ever want to come back and look at that again, like see the tables and the way that I set it up, now you can. It'll live there forever. So you can see that in there. Pretty cool, huh? Okay. That was a lot. So Bonnie, I'm going to open it up. I'm going to take a drink of water here.
Yes.
All right.
It's time to get going. Apologies, my camera is not working.
Oh yeah, the camera. Oh shoot.
But you can just listen to my voice and I am here.
Such a beautiful voice. It's such a beautiful voice to hear.
So we had quite a few questions come through. So thank you, everybody. And I promise I am trying to sort through them all and make sure we get as many answered as we can. But Stephanie, burning question.
Yes.
Let me see which one I want to ask first.
I know there's like so many.
There's so many. Let's see. Can you just again show us? I think this was asked a few times in here, just how you can hyperlink again.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay. I'm going to go into, I'm going to copy this so I don't mess with what was on the Facebook page here. Okay. I'm going to copy that. And now we're just going to tear this one to pieces. We're just going to do so many things. So what I'm going to do is first, what you'd want to do is go into, one of the events. So I'll just go into this one right here. And then if you just click like book here, so just type out what you want to say. And then if you highlight it, you can click that insert link button. So it's right up there at the top. And then just type in that URL. Now, one thing you could do is you could also just click, just click this URL right here and then just put, the website. But then basically what it'll do is it'll just link that website. So this just makes it a little cleaner. Like if you want to specify what is happening when they click that. So yeah, that's how you would do that.
Lovely. Thank you, Stephanie.
You are welcome.
Another one that has been asked a couple of times in here is, how do you send to groups and determine which option they choose? And I know you went over the form thing, but would you say that would be a good option for them to do?
I would for sure say that. I would say, so there's a couple ways you could do that. It depends what your group is looking like. So if it's a big group and you don't know who's going to be part of it, or, if they're sending it to like 20, 30 people, I would definitely recommend making a form. So what you could do is you make your form. And again, you're going to learn all about forms in the next session. So I don't want to spoil anything. But if you
sneak peek.
Sneak peeks, exactly. Yeah. But if you click new library item, you can add a form. And then what you would do is we'll just say like group trip form, and then just say, like, what is your name? What is your email? Yes, you are interested, or like, yes, you approve that you want to go. You can make questions for all that type of information. So whatever it is that you need, you can do that. So you can make those questions. And then there's the form. So here, I'm just going to put in one is your name. We'll say, okay. And then you can grab a link. So there is a link here. And then this brings us back again to how you can hyperlink things. But the place that I recommend putting that link at is if you go into your settings in the description. So you could say, click here to confirm booking, or whatever it might be that you say. And then that way, when they go to this, so I'm just going to save these. Let me preview this so you can really see. See right here how I'll say that, and then it'll open up into the form. So then that is probably the way that I would recommend. But if you're doing a group trip where it's kind of just like maybe like 4 different families or something like that, it's not too crazy, it's easy to stay organized with. What you could do is you could create one a proposal for everybody, and then copy it and then send it specifically to those people. So if you really want to get like an approval from each party, basically like each person or each couple or family, you could do it that way too. So really depends, what would work best in the situation you have.
Awesome. Well, thank you for answering that. I know that was a burning question people had.
Yes.
Moving on to the next one. I'm just having you hop all over the place.
Yeah, that's all right.
But next question, can you prep several resorts and save them to your library without creating an itinerary?
Heck yeah, for sure. So how you would do that is if you go into the library, so go to the library just directly, and then just click new library item, and then just do like lodging, and then just start filling this out, and then you got it. Then you have everything you need. So then, and we see a lot of users do this, especially if you're working like on a team, or you have a lot of people that are going to be using the same stuff. They'll do that. They'll just kind of fill their library up and then start going in. So that's how you would do that. And again, you just access your library on your main page when you first log in, and just click library at the top there.
Awesome. Yeah. Whenever you guys have the time to do that, that can just save you time in the future when you're creating out all of your proposals and quotes. Love to see it. But let's see. I'm going through here. It's so fun to be in charge of this.
You know, right? There's so many
questions. Much to choose from. And I feel bad if we can't get to all of them since we are limited on time, but we will do our best. Stephanie, will you remind me, what is the trip chat on proposals? How can people use it again?
Yeah. So with the trip chat, it's super cool. So basically, whenever you send any itinerary proposal to a client, they'll have the option when they're viewing this in the web, like in the web link, they can see this, and there's this little chat box right there. So they can chat with you. You can chat with them. You can choose to turn it off if you want to turn it off in the mobile app, which I'll get to in a second. But basically, you'll get notified. You can choose if you want to be notified or not. But you can use the trip chat in here. And then, of course, not on the proposal side, but once it is an itinerary, you do have your mobile app available and you can chat with your client in there too. But that would be once you're into the itinerary process.
Awesome. Yeah, so many different ways that you can use that chat feature. And now let's go on to this next question we've got here. This one's a little bit more high depth, but what if the pricing changes from when you sent the proposal out? Do you have any recommendations for that? Because, everything's changing every day.
Yeah. So a couple things that I would recommend maybe is that I've just seen before is, well, first of all, you can always edit the price. So if you want to edit it, like if I want to change this, let's say it went up $100. So I could change that and then my client will see that right away. So when they refresh their page or reopen it. And if the price did change, then maybe it's a great idea to use that little trip chat and just be like, hey, just letting you know I updated it, but the price has changed. Or maybe it's cheaper. And so then it's less money than it was before. So you definitely want to let them know about that and be like, lock this in now. The other option is if that's likely to change during the time that your client will be approving it. I've seen other people either put in the information document section or in the trip description that like price or say something like, here, let me do this. Prices subject to change, something like that. And if you put it there, it'll appear at the top. So that could be a good option if you just want to go ahead and say that in front that, hey, these prices, might change. Another thing that's making me think about this too, this isn't really answering the question, but if you ever do want to give them a certain amount of time because you're like, hey, this price is only good for 5 days, or whatever it might be. And if you don't want them to have access to see this anymore, you can actually turn off. So you can say in here, wait, where did that go? There it is. It's just at the top. So you just want to click hidden. And when your clients go to view it, it'll say that you're currently working on it. So this could be a good option if things are really changing or you want to put like a hard stop, like this pricing is only going to be good for the next 48 hours. And then you just shut it down afterwards. So that way they can't take it and use it, all that good stuff on there. So, oh yeah. And it looks like, so someone on here, Kevin just said that he uses he'll put as of 20 March 2022, like a disclaimer. So it sounds like a lot of people do that already. So you could definitely do that.
Nice. Lovely. Something that, we don't think about since we aren't travel agents.
I know.
So glad to get your opinion on that, Stephanie. But here's someone. They asked, what is your favorite way to share a proposal with your client? PDF link, share option, etc. Do you have a preferred method or?
For sure. Yes. So I don't actually have clients, but I do know if I were an agent and also just hearing from agents, I would say the best option is that web link and not a PDF. And the PDF can be okay, especially if your clients really want a hard copy. But I know that what I've heard is that you don't want that out there, too long. And then, or you just have more control over it basically when it is that web link, because then you can unpublish it if you need, or if you need to make edits, changes, like we were just talking about. That's a great example of how we were just talking about it, because with that link, then you can do all those updates things. But then that way, if that's a fear that you would have is that, you don't want them to go and try to price match at other places, things like that. That's why I definitely recommend the link. And then also the link will allow your client to approve it, where the PDF, it doesn't allow that. And in fact, you can only get the PDF from your end if it is a proposal. We don't even give that option automatically because we know so many people don't really want their client to have that until it is a trip, an itinerary. But you could certainly get the PDF. So if you do want to do that, you could. But otherwise, I'd recommend that URL link.
Awesome. Thanks. And I know, let me see here. We only have a little bit left, and I'm
I know, it goes
trying
so
to
fast.
find the
Mhm.
gritty ones. And oh goodness. But yes, I think I just saw TJ, you just commented about how you just referred someone to us this
That's
weekend.
awesome.
Awesome. We do have a referral program
We
if you
do.
guys did not know about that.
Yes. I can go into that. Yeah, for sure. So if you are a Travefy subscriber, you have access to this already. So if you go into your account settings, click on referral program, and here it is. So you'll get your own little referral code or a link. And basically the person you refer gets 10% off their first 6 months or off their annual subscription. And then you also get that in return, and it works as Travefy credits. So, I mean, we have users they've never paid for a Travefy subscription in years because they just go off of their referral. So their referral credits that they have. So that's what's really cool about that. So love that. And also, Bonnie, if before we go, we'll have to show training. So tell me when to do that, and I'll go to our help center.
Yes. I mean, I feel like now's a good time. I was about to
Cool.
plug in our training link here.
Well, this is Bonnie's specialty, is our the trainings. If you get on a training with Bonnie, it's going to be a good time.
Always a good time.
Yeah, always a good time. But if you go to travefy.com/support, this is where you can see everything. And again, being with us on training camp week this week, you're going to learn a lot. But if you ever just want to do like a quick high level overview, or you have a colleague who's new to Travefy, you should tell them, go to that getting started guide. There's so much stuff in here. But then we also do offer those one-on-one trainings. So if you ever want to schedule that with us, just click schedule a training here, FAQs. And then again, you can contact us, in the live chat or email professional@travefy.com. So let us know, we're always here and happy to help.
Yes. And one thing while we're here, Stephanie,
Yeah.
something that I feel like a lot of people don't know about are our sample trips, because, you just went through creating one. And if you guys ever need more examples, there are a million right here, and you can actually save these to your account and, have somewhat of a template if you guys happen to work in one of these areas. I know we actually have quite a few Oregon ones.
There are, yeah.
There in Utah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And all you do is you just click on it, and then you can do save copy, and then it just saves all of this. So then you can use this, and it's really great, especially when you're getting started on Travefy and you just kind of want to see, like, what are other people doing, or what are ways that I can make this look really cool? And that's a great way to do it. So nice pro tip, Bonnie. I like
Yes. As we keep going along, I just think of more and more things,
I know,
which is usually the case.
Yeah. There's so much.
There is
so much. And so someone just mentioned too, I am not able to copy and paste the links. I bet that's because, and if this is wrong, if I'm wrong, then shoot us an email and let us know. But you do have to be signed into your Travefy account. So you have to be signed into your Travefy account in order for it to say save copy. So if you don't see the save copy button, that probably means that you're just not signed in. But if that's not the case, again, send us an email and we can take a look at that in there too. But one thing that I wanted to say is, okay, so this has been really awesome and fun, like really good. It's just these are just such amazing sessions. But we still have we have 2 more actually today. So we have contacts and forms coming up next. So we're going to talk all about the Travefy's Light CRM. That's what we like to call it, the Light CRM, because it's simple, easy, intuitive to use. So Kendra's going to show us all of that coming up here soon, is that contact and forms. And then if you want to join us later on, I thought I had it up here, but for this evening, we're going to do an encore evening session, and it's going to be the core 5. So the webinar session that was just before this one, if you missed it, you can catch it again today at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. It's really cool. Oh, and really quick, I mean, again, Bonnie, we could sit here forever, but there's a question on sample trips. Here's how you do it. I got you. Okay, here we go. So we're going to go back to, where was I? Okay, so, here, I'll drop this link in here. Let me drop this link in here. But if you go to our support page, that's where it is, but you can go right there. So awesome. Well, Bonnie, is there anything else? Anything else I'm missing?
I think the last thing that I just have to say is, I know there were so many questions that came in, and if we happen to miss one of yours, there is a chat feature in your Travefy account. shoot it on over to us. And I promise I will be on the other end of that question. And we can get that answered for you. But other than that, you guys have been awesome. This was a great first webinar with Stephanie.
Yes. Congrats,
Oh my
Bonnie.
gosh. What
That's
a
so
good
exciting.
community that we are in.
I
I love
know.
everyone here. Everyone's
I
so
know.
supportive and friendly. Oh gosh.
It's
Best job ever.
I agree. I know we're so lucky, and we keep saying this, but we truly are so lucky. And again, to take time out of your schedule, especially this week with, joining us multiple times, it's just so cool. So thank you so much. And, we're having fun. We hope you are too. So we'll see you at the next one.
We will see you.
It'll be up in about a half an hour. Be coming quick. See you guys.
Bye, guys.